Hi, I'm Chloe Rose, and today we're making banana bread. And this is one of my most favorite recipes because ever since I've been little, my mom and I would make it together. We'd make giant batches of it and give it to all my sister and my teachers. And everybody's always been begging for the recipe, so here it is. So first, you want to start with really, really ripe bananas, very overripe. You can see that the peel just kind of falls away. It's so ripe. And nice and browned on the outside. This is perfect for banana bread. And if you're using extra large bananas like we are, you might want to add a little bit more flour because they're different sizes of bananas, so you need to think about that. So first, we're going to mush it up a little bit, and they're really, really ripe, so it's not that hard to mush it up. And you're going to use just a potato masher. Just going to mush it up a little bit so that when you incorporate the eggs, it will incorporate nicely into one mixture. So you just kind of want to mush it together so you don't have any big chunks of banana. Alright, so this looks about perfect. You can kind of see it's kind of soupy, but you can't see that there are any big chunks of banana anymore. And we've preheated our oven to 350 degrees so that it will be nice and hot once we put our banana bread in. So the next step is to add your eggs. So we have 2 eggs, and when you're adding eggs to something, you know you want to beat them up a little bit first so that it's easy to combine them in and you don't have to break the yolk while they're in there. So we're just going to beat this up a little bit. That's perfect. And now we're going to add it right to our banana mixture. Stir this up a little bit so it's one mixture. And you'll find that banana bread really doesn't look very good for most of the stages of its being prepared, but that's kind of the best part. So it kind of looks weird, chunky mash right now, but it's going to be really good. So that looks good. And the next step is to add our butter. And we're going to cut in our butter. We have 1 stick of butter that we've already softened so that it's really easy to cut in because you kind of want everything to be the same texture because then it will come together really nicely. So we're going to just do it kind of piece by piece. We're just going to put in, you want to break it off a little bit so that you can work with little pieces. And it's kind of odd because normally for other recipes you cut the butter into the dry ingredients, but this is more of like a quick bread, so we put the butter right in with the other wet ingredients. And there's our last little bit. So now we just have like a pastry cutter with like the little pieces of metal, so it's really easy to cut in. We're just going to cut this butter in. And it might take like a little bit of working it in with a fork handy so that you can scrape off the butter because it's really soft so it easily gets stuck. But eventually, after a few minutes, it should have a great consistency of little pieces of butter that will melt and make this delicious in the oven. Alright, so we just finished mashing. You can just see little flecks of butter in there, like tiny pieces. That's exactly where you want it to be. And this is our wet mixture. We're going to set it aside and move on to our dry ingredients for our banana bread. Okay, so now it's time to put together our dry ingredients and then mix it all together. So first we have our 1 1/4 cups of flour, and we did add a little bit more because we were using really big bananas. So you're going to put that into a bowl. And you're going to add your sugar, and it kind of seems weird because normally you add sugar to wet ingredients, but this is banana bread, so everything's different, so we're adding it to our dry ingredients. And your baking soda and your salt. And let's just clear this all up. And you want to stir it together to make sure it's not lumpy, and you could use a whisk if you want to incorporate a little bit of air, but I already sifted my ingredients, so I don't really need to do that. So this looks perfect. So now we're going to grab our wet ingredients right here that we already mixed up. And you're going to add your dry ingredients to the wet, just like this. And you don't want to overwork anything, any quick breads, especially banana bread. So we're just going to stir it until it's combined. Just going to work this into there. Alright, so this looks just about good. You want to make sure that the dry and the wet ingredients are all together, and it should look kind of lumpy and disgusting, but I swear it is going to taste very good, and it will look good too. So that looks good. See, you can see it's kind of lumpy because of the bananas, but it's a little thickened because of the flour, and it's perfect. So we're going to put it into a already greased standard loaf pan, and you can use other pans, but I found this one's the best for this particular recipe because it puffs up really high and looks really pretty. So I just greased it with a little bit of butter, or you could use a little nonstick cooking spray if you want. So we're going to put all of our delicious banana bread mixture right in there. Just going to scrape it down. It's okay if it looks like it's a little bit much because it won't overflow. It's just going to puff up really nice and high. And there we go. Perfect. Okay. So we're all ready. We're going to go put it in a preheated 350-degree oven for about an hour until it's puffed up and golden and really delicious. So let's go do that. All right, so here's our banana bread. It just came out of the oven. I can't wait to try it, and you should try it too. I promise it will win over any teacher's heart, and you can have it for an after-school snack. You can have it anytime during the day. I don't think it's going to last very long, though, so try it at home.